Hello people! Today I am doing another set of opal nails, my second attempt at it. And I will tell you up front, I'm not real happy with how they came out. But we're gonna carry on anyway because this is all I have for this week. I'm using a medium length coffin, and we're gonna start off with a base color of this Markartt. It's a mermaid polish. It came with like 6 different colors. This happens to be the white one. It has just a little bit of sparkle, so I thought that would be a good under color for the opal stuff. Yeah, and so they did not come out with the look I was going for, so I'm gonna have to do some more research, and at some point, I don't know when, I'll take another crack at them. But they're not horrible looking, but they're just not what I'm looking for either. So, okay, we're going to give that a cure. And then we are going to put a second coat only on the ring finger because that one I'm going to leave as is. And we'll cure that. Now I'm going to do the opal process that I did for these. I'm going to start off with base. Now, last time I layered a bunch of stuff and I didn't get enough colors in there and I didn't like the way it looked. This time I'm doing it differently. I'm going to start off with base coat, and I'm going to mix Mylar flakes into it and put that mixture onto the nails. Now you'll see what happens here. Just trying to get the last of this polish out of the, or I should say base coat out of there. And I needed a little bit more. At least I finished off that one bottle. That one's been sitting around up there in my cupboard for a long time. Now these are the Mylar flakes that I'm using for these. They're much finer and flakier and smaller than the stuff I previously used, so I figured this would be a better choice. Okay, I'm going to use that teal, the salmon color. Now I'm just going to use a couple of scoops in there, the teal. I think this is partly where I went wrong. I think I should have not used so much of the teal and blue and purple. A little bit more of that. And then I'm going to add in some blue. I think this blue and the purple is what really turned it muddy looking. So I think I should have not put those in, or at least not that much of them. I went real heavy on the purple because, of course, that's my favorite color. And then we're going to use this pink that has kind of a gold look to it. I wanted a lot of those because that pink one had the best kind of opal shine to it. Now, I thought these were just going to stay as the flakes and just all mix in there, but it kind of mushed up into a, I don't know what. So the flakes, either the color is leaching off of them or they were just so fine that they just turned into a kind of a mess. Now I'm adding more of the pink because I want more of that shiny part. The pink ones had a bit much higher shine than the rest, so that's why you're going to see me keep using those over and over now. Okay, that got me a little bit better. But see how it's kind of blue, gray, kind of a muddy color? That's where everything went wrong. Oh, some more pink going in. Probably could have done with just a skosh more base coat too. But that's what we've got to work with, and that's what I went with. Now I'm just going to scoop some of that out with the brush. And I will get some of these on in the shot so you can see it, but I'm just applying it. I'm just laying it down over the nail and kind of spreading it out. Now it is pretty runny, so it was, I did have, so I put it on rather thick, so I did have it running into, down to the side edges and whatnot. But I will try to get around that here at the end before I cure it. Now, it wasn't looking that bad at this point. Maybe I should have stopped there. Okay, and the next one. I'm trying to just spread the flakes around a bit so they're not all blobbed up. And that right there is why I wear gloves. Because that would have created a humongous welt on my finger that would have been sore and itching like heck. And there's some days where I'm just ridiculously sloppy when I'm doing stuff, and I don't know why that is. And other days I can do it and not get a drop of anything on my gloves. But, I wear the gloves for those days because I never know what's happening. As I'm looking at this now, I'm thinking I should have stopped with one coat because they look halfway decent right there. Now I'm holding these upside down for a good while, and I'm going to manipulate it around to try to get the stuff to run in where I want it to be instead of like all going off in one spot. Some of them had a lot near the edges, some had a lot on the tip. I'm just trying to move it around to a place where it's fairly uniform, and then I will cure that. Now these are back out, and I'm going on with the second coat now. See, this is where that kind of gray started to come in, so I'm thinking maybe if I just left one coat, it would have been better. I have sped this up because you don't need to see me just plopping this on too much. Oh, I've added more pink now. Decided it needed more spark, more shine to it, and I lost the pink out of there, so I'm adding in more. And if you guys think that's the end of me adding the pink to these nails, you would be wrong, because I'm going to do some more. Not yet, but I am going to add more of that on. Now some of the blue ones, like that, is a big hunk that did not, it was just too big, so that one had to go. And I think we're ready for curing. And in it goes. Okay, now that they're cured, now I'm taking the pink and I'm just gonna add them onto the top because these are still tacky as I use base coat for that mixture. So it's tacky, and I'm going to just add some more of these pink on because the pink seemed to have gotten lost in there. And the pink had the best sparkle, so I'm just going to add a little bit on there. This will be strike 2 with the opal nails for me. Okay, now we are ready to top coat. This is the tempered top coat, and I'm just giving them a nice hefty layer, and that one too while we're at it. I want these to have a nice thick layer on there because we're going to do the old file and buff routine after this, which we are ready for. Now see, it has that kind of lip at the end, which I didn't like, so I'm going to file that down. I'm using a 100-180 grit file, hard file right now, but mostly I'll be using the buffer of the same grit. I'm just smoothing it down. What I mainly wanted to do was, besides making sure they were smooth, which they pretty much all were, is to get the sides back in shape, because all that stuff that ran down the sides, not all of it came, was removed up from there when I held them upside down. So I just want to get my side shapes back. And I will do the rest of them off camera after I finish this one. And then we'll be ready to move on. Obviously, I've sped this way up. Okay, and moving on, I'm going to use the Markartt white as I'm trying to use it up. And since I already used Markartt today, I figured I may as well stay in the same brand if I can. Now, we're going to do a French on some of these. I initially wanted to do a fade with white from the bottom up, but it just was not showing up when I tried it. So I opted to do the French instead. And I just eyeball it. I don't use any of the techniques that I've seen out there for getting it right, getting a good French curve. I've tried some of them and they don't come out any better for me, so I just eyeball it. And once I get the curve to where I'm happy, then I will get the bottle brush out for the rest of that. This is just going to be a small French, not a real deep one, or just a regular old, plain old one. And don't forget to cap the ends. And I'm going to do one more, and then I'll finish the rest off camera. We're not putting any on the ring finger. That's the plain white one either. And so I forgot to say at the beginning, this set took me 2 hours and 45 minutes. Now that could be shaved down if because of the Opal process I used that didn't work real well. There was a lot of experimenting with that. Once I get something dialed in, I'm sure I could shave quite a lot off of the time for these things. And that's good for there. And as I said, I'll do the rest off camera. I wasn't happy with the way that looked, so we're going to fix it. And I will do the rest and cure them. Okay, now we're going in with the second coat. Same thing. I will just get my line on here with this and then use the bottle brush. And I'm not going to show you anymore after that, I don't think. Now, if I had used gel paint, I probably could have done this in one coat, but I did not. Okay, there's a second coat, and those will get cured, and now we're moving on to the embellishments. Okay, these are the flowers that I am using. I got these from Allie, of course. I'm going to be using those pink ones, and I'm also going to be using a couple of the teal colored ones. They're clear on the top with just a tiny bit of color on the bottom. And then a couple of these AB clear bows, we're going to use a couple of those. And also there will be caviar beads. Oh, and these opal crystals, I used the green, the blue, and the white out of here. Of course, they look nice in there. And there's, of course, our gem glue. And we're going to glue this up a bit on, I'm starting with the ring fingers. Now, I hadn't tried doing these kind of things with resin. I have the mold for these flowers. I haven't tried making any of these things out of resin yet. That'll be on my agenda at some point as I'm just learning. I'm just starting to dabble with resin stuff, and right now I'm just making jewelry mostly. But I may end up using it to make some of these little doodad charms, and if that works out, then I can maybe start selling them. Okay, now I'm just going to go in. I'm starting off with the green ones. Now they don't look like they have any color really when they're like individually and they're kind of by themselves. They don't have a lot of color to them. But as you can see up there in the thing, they do have a color. It's just very, very pale. I'm starting off with the green because I was kind of using those vaguely to represent leaves. And then I will be adding some blue ones and some of the white ones. Now I've left this one in real time so you guys can see about how long it normally takes to do this kind of stuff. But the ones I show after this, I think I'm going to be speeding up. And a couple of white ones. I didn't want to do too much on these, but they needed something. And then we're going to go on to the caviar beads. Now I'm using a bigger one for the center of the flower. As you can see right there. It was not cooperating. It did not want to let me pick it up. So I'm going to get a little bit of glue on the end of my dotting tool so I can handle that a little better. And then I will just use the other ones. These are the smaller ones now. Not the teeny tiniest ones, but just smaller. I'm going to use those to fill in just a few here and there. Look, they're trying to escape off of here again. And then my big flowers moving around all over the place. Probably would be a smart idea to get the big flower on there, cure it, and then start adding other stuff, but I just went for it all in one go. And now it doesn't want to get off of there. And we're just going to put them in here and there. Oh, I lost it. And when I'm happy with it, which apparently I'm not yet, oh, either one fell off or I decided another one needed to be there. Okay, we'll put that into cure once I'm happy and once everything stays where I put it. I cure those for 90 seconds. Okay, now we're moving on to the middle finger, which is going to have the bow on it only. And I put too much glue on there because only the center, the very center part of the bow is the only part where it's actually going to be stuck on. And I had the worst time getting these bows in the right place and getting them seated in the glue and to stay where I put them and centered. That was another thing. Every time I would get it where I want it, it would kind of move on me. So eventually I'm going to get it lined up where I want it, and I'm going to cure that. Oh, we're still not happy yet. Okay, now I've cured that. Now we're moving on to the thumbnail, where basically it's going to be the same as the other one with the ring finger, except I'm going to use a teal colored flower this time. And also I have sped this up, so it'll be a bit quicker. While we have a little bit of time. Oh, FYI, we probably should have top coated these before this point, but I did not do that. I got ahead of myself and forgot. And since I would have had to put another top coat on at the end after I got the embellishments on, kind of worked out because I didn't end up with a bunch of extra layers that way. Anyways, moving on. Next week I'll be doing the first set of Valentine nails for this year, and I'm going to do a peekaboo set. So stay tuned for that. Okay, now that one to cure. Now I've got the bow ones out, and I'm taking more glue and just putting it underneath along the glue edge there and curing that just so it has a little extra support. Now we're going on with the top coat, and I have sped this up. I want to get it on, not on the crystals as always, but the rest of it, caviar beads is okay, just don't do the crystals. And cap the ends. Now some of these, the ones without embellishments, I can do just on the rack. Look at that big blob of top coat on my table. Ah! Yeah, needless to say, this is one of those sloppy days. And this guy, this one already had the top coat from earlier, but I need to put it again because I need to clean up any gluey mess that's on there. And the pinky nail. And we will cure this for a minute. And then we'll be done. Ta-da! And there we are. There you have a supposedly opal set, which is not really. If you like them, I'd really appreciate a like. It helps me a lot. If you want to see more, I upload a new tutorial every Saturday. And that's all I have for you today. I will see you guys next week. Have a good one. Bye-bye.